Hi everyone, and welcome back as I continue my very selective review of Season 4 of Blake 7, Headhunter. Tarrant and Villa have been dispatched to pick up Muller and his creation from a cartel, and obviously they're going to run into some resistance, and that's what happens. So, what happens basically is that Tarrant teleports down to pick up Muller, and he meets Muller, and he also discovers to put it bluntly, a headless corpse underneath a table. Muller is teleported back up to Scorpio, and just before Tarrant comes up, he picks up a mysterious black box, and he also is now back on board Scorpio. And now, for some reason, Muller is going nuts, and he basically attacks Tarrant. Villa clubs Muller across the shoulders, knocking him out. They assume they've knocked Muller out, but Tarrant thinks that Muller is in fact possibly dead. So they put him in this kind of medical facility to keep him on ice, so to speak. Nobody understands why Muller has gone nuts, apart from the fact that Muller is saying something along the lines, the box, send it back. So something is going on, and that, whatever it is only going to escalate. With Villa's curiosity of what is inside the box, he tries to open it a couple of times, and Scorpio is flung around violently. Not only that, Slave the computer also starts to act up and puts on this very defiant voice, and eventually has to be shut down because Slave cannot be trusted. All this is, of course, relayed back to Avon, and Avon basically says, look, Villa, get that box open. It's the only way we're going to find out what's going on, what's inside it. But he also has a conversation with Aurak, and Aurak is saying that Scorpio must not return to base, it must stay out in space and remain there. Tarrant is quite surprised by this suggestion when Scorpio does take up an orbit around the planet where their base is, and he's not too happy about it. And basically Aurak keeps going on saying, you've got to leave them up there. And Avon saying, excuse me, are you suggesting I kill Tarrant and Villa by leaving them up there? But all this is superseded because the life support systems on Scorpio start acting up and shutting down, and everything practically shuts down. So Villa and Tarrant are forced to get into life support suits. They've got no option, because the teleport has been shut down under Aurak's orders, or request should I say, which Avon followed for the time being. But now, as things are now escalating, Avon has no choice but to reactivate the teleport and get Tarrant and Villa back down as Dana and Sulene are teleported up. So Avon reopens the teleporter, Sulene and Dana teleport up, and just saved Tarrant and Villa's life as they're taken off to the medical unit. And fortunately for them, they start to recover. But now, Aurak is acting up, saying very peculiar things. This is because somebody else has teleported down to the base, undetected. So Avon and Muller's wife teleport up to Scorpio, and everything seems to be okay. This seems to be very odd. And to add to the confusion, Muller's body is no longer on board. So Avon picks up the mysterious box, brings it back down, and basically tells everyone we have an intruder. And the intruder is detected. It is Muller. Muller kills his wife. I'm assuming it's his wife. Avon and Tarrant take a pot shots at Muller, but their guns malfunction. Something very peculiar is now definitely well and truly going on. So Avon wants to know what the heck is in this box, so he basically tells Tarrant and Dana to give Muller the runaround while he gets Villa to open the box. And that's exactly what Tarrant and Dana do. They set an explosive charge in a corridor, and oh my, Muller gets up without his head. And once Villa gains access to the mysterious box, the whole mystery comes together. They didn't bring back Muller. They brought back his creation with Muller's head on. And why his creation was going berserk is because the real android head is a restraining head. And Avon wants this android, and he wants this helmet put onto the android. So they proceed with Avon's plan to lure it outside, where he can sort of electrocute it on a bridge, sort of stuns it. And so that's exactly what happens. They set up this trap. They use Aurak as bait. Everyone's now on the surface. Muller's creation's on the bridge. It gets electrified. The android falls over. Avon puts the head onto the body of the android, but obviously, because there's so much resistance, Avon gets knocked out in this process. So, does it look like mankind has now been saved? Well, not quite, as Aurak would put it. So, Dana finishes the job by placing charges around and on Muller's android. And then, of course, they blow the android up totally. And so the future of mankind has been saved for now. But unfortunately, Avon takes a very different viewpoint and has a right go at Tarrant for his actions in destroying this creation by Muller of this android. He's not very happy. And on that note, I'll move on to my final thoughts coming up now. Right, so here we go. Headhunter is one of those few very good episodes of season 4. It's just a shame there wasn't a few more. So the premise of the story basically is, if Muller's creation, the android he created, joins with Aurak, it's game over for the human race, because they would become extremely powerful, uniting, and the human race will be finished, just enslaved to them. Not a very nice future for the human race. But for some reason, Avon doesn't see it that way. He sees it, once we get this restraining head onto the body of the android would be then simply easily to control. But would it? Because even Aurak basically saying, no, not really, towards the end of the episode, and Aurak's basically saying, you only got one option. You want to save the human race, you've got to destroy Muller's creation. And so that's what happens. Dana obviously blows up the android. Yeah, it's a very enjoyable episode, this one. It's obviously a bit of a murder mystery, and what's in the box, and obviously all these factors come together, and you realise what's going on. I love the conversations Avon has with Orek. And some of the facial expressions Avon's pulls, it's so amazing. It really is. Yeah, so it's a really good episode, this one, Headhunter. And on that note, have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you in due course with the grand final. Goodbye.